Hey, what's up, big girl? Northtownsound, how's it going? Another accidental video. That's Andy. And we got to do some work on Andy here. Andy is a Squire Tillamookee custom with the wrong peg head. But whatever. I need to change strings on this. I need to do some electrical work on this. I need to bitch about this thing. So, I got the strings. I'm going to do it off. Thought I'd do a video. So, what the heck? It's raining. I'm bored. You're bored. Gotta be bored. You're watching this. Yeah, this Tele Custom thing, which, this is no lie. I bought this off of a cowboy in a parking lot of a computer supply place for 150 bucks, and he had an 80s battery powered PV amp to test it out. No lie, you can't make that stuff up. So I picked up Andy the other day, went to go play, would not stay in tune. Strings are shot. I mentioned before, I usually throw labels on my guitars so I know when I strung them up. Just it's faster for me that way. And yeah, look at that. It's been about 3 years. Now, before anyone says anything, this thing might get 10-15 hours a year of playtime. Really what I use this guitar for is for fingerstyle electric playing, because it's got the wider F-style bridge. Even though I hate these things for palm muting and stuff, they're better for my chubby fingers for fingerstyle playing. What I find is, because I do this where things are hanging up and stuff, the guitars go in and out of tune depending on temperature and humidity and stuff, and it's been really humid this year, so nothing's staying in tune. It doesn't matter what brand of strings I try, just from doing that after a while, just the movement of the guitar and the movement of the strings, because of the ambience changing, they reach a point where they're shot the same way as when you're playing them all the time. So even though these strings look okay and they're not that dirty or anything, and they are D'Addarios, like D'Addarios, they're just too much wiggling. They need new strings, okay? So I'm going to have to bring up the gauge, which means I'm going to have to set up the guitar some more, which is not a big surprise. So these have been replaced. When I was hooking them up, I accidentally cold soldered the tone for the bridge pickup, so it's not working. And it's one of these things where you got to undo a gazillion screws to get at that. So I've just been living with it. So now that I got to restring it, I got to fix that thing too. Strings are off, all dusty, all grimy, just like everything else I own. Don't really care. Gonna get cleaned up. So this is a Squire. I have worked on one of the original 70s deluxes with single coil in the back. What Squire is building now is a hell of a lot better fitting and a hell of a lot better working than what Fender did in the 70s. Okay, design fail number one on these stupid things. Yes, the jumbo pickguard looks damn cool. I mean, I bought this because I've always loved, Lee Ronaldo used one of these for decades, and I was like, yeah, those are cool looking. But, like, this is freaking ridiculous. This is like, I don't know, this is like trying to fix your furnace or something. I mean, nothing but screws. 14 screws, okay? You know, what was wrong with that? You know, you got a bevel, and you got a control plate. No, it's bonehead design flaw number one. Bonehead design problem number two. Screws are out. I'm going to lift this pickguard out and I'm going to work on this guitar. But I can't get it out. Why not? Because the way that they do the neck on these things, you see how it fits underneath the guard? I can't lift this straight out. You have to loosen it down pretty well until it's off. So now I got this off, now I got to work on the controls. The neck joint on this thing is solid. There's no gap to it. It's built right. There is a really good coating of conductive paint on this thing. It's built right. It's a design flaw. Think that's working. I'm going to try to very, very quickly explain a little history about budget guitars for people who bitch about the quality of modern guitars. Because you're idiots. You're just idiots. This is Gold Weight. This is my old Harmony Bobcat. These things are worth a fortune now. And I don't know why. Killer sounding dearming pickup, without question, right? But these are part sweep models. I mean, it's just whatever art shop bridge they had around this cheap sort of generic tailpiece that they had. The little micro pause, cheapest little pause they could find. When you're going into the build quality on these things, they were good for the era. This is like 64 or something like that, but like there's a slope here. I mean, like the neck pocket's not even close on this thing. And of course, you know, the hardware is not that great, okay? So when you had these guys who were start off in the golden age, you know, this is what they were getting. And I love Harmony. I worship what they did, right? But there's definitely some warts on these things, right? Now, when I started out in the late or early 80s, you were probably getting things more like this here, Beverly, which is a Japanese Les Paul copy. You know, the machining is better on these things, more consistent from model to model, because they were using better templates and they had access to better tools. Definitely, there's still part sweep models, you know, in terms of not having the greatest pickups or hardware. They definitely didn't have their necks made any better. You see what's happening there? It's the same thing. There's a ledge. It's right off. And I mean, there's so many changed parts on this thing to get it playable. It's unbelievable. This is what I had to put up with when I was starting. A lot of people my generation and age group, right? So people that are sitting here nowadays that are dealing with these guitars that have proper shielding, that have proper picture perfect neck joints. Dead on. I can't fit a piece of paper in there. This is because of CNC and the advantages of, you know, automated machinery. So we're getting much better built guitars right now. And everybody's going to sit there and say, well, no, you know, like these guitars were better. Well, they're funkier. They sound different than any sort of modern pickup that you could put in. Well, they are making gold foils now, so I guess that's a bit of an iffy. But, you know, frankly, these things are built so much better than what was in the past. So why people bitch at these? And it's so much easier to find parts than it even was 10 years ago. So stop your whining. I digress. Now 14 screws back in. Yep, great design, guys. Great design. I've mentioned this before. Microfiber cloths. These things are the greatest things for cleaning things. I'm not even using any water or anything on this, and it's getting rid of 99% of the scum. Love these things. Glad I spent another $1. I've shown this trick, but now, because I can have two hands free, hopefully I can show this better. There's always that debate that goes on. How much string do you put up here before you cut it off and start winding? Some people say go to, you know, 2 pass, whatever you're doing. Some people say go X centimeters. So you can use a ruler or whatever. I use my mitts because my mitts are here. So somewhere 7th, 8th, 9th fret, you want to go with at least 4 fingers. 4 fingers is going to give you slightly looser string tension. So if this was a guitar where I was doing a lot of bending and stuff on, I would want to go 4 fingers. I want this a little stiffer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 5 fingers and I'm going to balance it on the top of my thumb. So that's my distance I'm going to go with. Pull it tight, do an L bend in the tuner, and then I can start wrapping. The entire point is behind using this method is you can really adjust. It takes a bit to learn, but you can really adjust off your string tension on things, and allows you to really, after a couple of stringings, give you a good idea of how you want the playability to be on your axe. So just quickly going up to the peg head, I'm talking while I'm doing this, so I'm not rapping as neatly as I want to. I'm going to have to go back and touch this up. So that's about 3.5 reps, okay? Which, this is a 49 on a 25.5 scale. That's going to be a little bit on the stiff side once I get this stretched enough. I'm up to the B string on this. I'm taking them at the same height. Now if I wanted to bend more on the B string, I could bring that down to a lower height. And then it would be more bendy. I really don't care in this case. 14 screws. You saw the video, right? Go to tune this up. Works. Bridge. Dead. Everything is cranked. When I was putting this together, somehow I clipped something, and now I gotta take fucking 14 screws out in order to figure out what I did. 15 minutes of trying to get this off without having to take the strings off, and all it was is that there was pressure on the tone pot from putting it back together. Okay? Something that would have taken 5 seconds to figure out on that with the back plate instead of 14 lousy screws and having to remove the neck to even pop this up enough so I could look at things. This is the reason why I laugh at Fullerton guys, because they're like, oh yeah, you know, it's the big advantage of Fender, they're easier to work on. Yeah, except when they do things ass backwards like this. Gee. 2 quick points of clarification. So, with my mitts, 4 fingers is, I don't know, 8.5 centimeters, about 3 3/8. And where I'm going to the bridge of my thumb, just a hair under 11 centimeters, about 4 1/4 inches, somewhere in there. Now, you math geniuses can figure out where from here up to there that works out to be. So, 14 screws. 4 screws. Makes a lot more sense. Here's one, since I'm playing the firewood stacking. Hey, Fullerton, what's wrong with that? 2 screws. You know, easy access. This is why the fat man can't picture ever owning a Jazzmaster, because just screws. Drives me up the wall. Setup. I got a bone to pick with people. Let's discuss the history of guitar setup for a second here. Instead of looking at the fretboard here, let's look at those pickups here. There's. Oh, I forgot to mention. These things, I got them from Eastwood. I don't even know what they were on originally. Think back to those records that made you sit there and go, I want to learn how to work one of these things. I want to learn how to play this thing, you know, that you wanted to rock out on. Think back to those records. 90% of the time, those guitars were not set up immaculately. Think about that, okay? The people who whine the most about, oh, my gear's gotta be set up right, the blues lawyers, for want of a better term, you know, you hate to tell them this, but I'm sure, like, Buddy Guy never heard of a guitar tech until, like, the 90s. Everybody talks about how their beloved Stevie Ray Vaughan, his action was like that. You know, if you're the metal dude, okay, you know, you listen to Ride the Lightning, They were doing it themselves. People put too much emphasis on this nonsense. You know, the reality is, if it plays and makes a sound, that's fine. It's nothing to do with this stupid thing here, or wherever I threw the ruler. There it is, you know. Or this thing. Or this thing. You know, plays fine. Makes you want to play music. Give her. That's all it comes down to. This stuff, mojo. I think that'll work. Got it all intonated off. Everything seems to be going good on this thing. So, clip the strings and go, I guess. Hey, but wait a second. What do we got here? So what's this fancy thing? Well, this is the Rowan LT901 tuner. As good of a time as any to shill. Remember, I have a store, northtownsound.com or reverb.com/shop/northtownsound. There's the pick. Check out my other videos, some of the great pedals and stuff that I sell. It's actually quite nice tuners. Rowan makes a couple of really nice things. I like this tuner quite a bit. So, at this point, I guess I just gotta cut the streamers off. And, I don't know, I'll give you guys a quick demo. It's been about a week. I said I was going to do a video on this thing. I finally got some time on an afternoon to do it because it looks like it's going to rain again. So I'm not complaining about the rain. It's just life. And I'm like pinned against the wall with technology, which is scaring me. So it's like there's a camera right there. Hi. There's the stuff on the floor. And I really apologize about the audio on this video. It's all over the place. I got to do something about that. So I threw up a mic. Hopefully this sounds a little bit better for you. But there you go. There's Andy. Now, like I mentioned, these pickups I got from Eastwood. I have no clue what they threw these on. I don't know. They're kind of cool. They got a bit of a mid-range honk to them that I kind of like. So. They got a really cool kind of rhythm sound to them that I dig. So sonically, this is cool. Just got to put down the pick. I mentioned that this I really use more for finger style, but it's a specific finger style that I use this for. I spent 8 years playing nothing but acoustic, and it was completely finger style on that. And I was one of them folky dudes where it's like. So when it comes to finger stuff, I get kind of annoying and repetitive like that. So I use this more for a very percussive style, hence the use of the Stratty bridge, which would kind of go like. Kind of more of a surgical kind of snap, doing that sort of thing. Which of course sounds kind of silly not being in context. So stuff like that, I'd have some delay on. I've got the Muskie Blue delay just because I'm really digging this thing. This is just a really nice straightforward delay. Although, because it's me, again, this would have more to having the hog on, and this would be like a rhythm track to something I would do, which is what this guitar basically gets used for in my arsenal. It's kind of used for that sort of stuff, as opposed to just going, there's not enough room for me to actually finger pick on this thing, so it's for that kind of stuff, which to me just sounds so much better if you're going. But that's me. Might not be you. So anyways, there's Andy for you. Hopefully you learned a couple of things on this. Hopefully you're enjoying the reflection off of the window and me pinned in by technology. I probably have a sweat stain on my wall now. Picture that. There's a beautiful thought for today. Anyways, thanks again for watching. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do about this video thing, but whatever. Slowly getting a little bit better. Slowly, inch by inch. So, and again, if you dug the sound of the blue delay, or if you're digging the brightness of the Rowan tuner or other stuff, again, Big Earl, Northtown Sound, that's northtownsound.com, or you can check me out, reverb/shop/northtownsound. Big Earl from the aforementioned. Thanks a lot for watching, folks. Later.